Hey there, Randy Walker, WorldTennisMagazine.com. Want to talk about Michael Zheng today. Amazing first round victory at the Australian Open as a qualifier, defeating fellow American Sebi Korda from 2-0 up, lost the next two sets. And you would think that Korda, as the veteran, would just run away and win the fifth, but Zheng held in there and won the final set 6-4, benefiting from Sebi Korda double faulting on the last 2 points of the match, which if you're nervous in a situation like that, that's a good way to win the last 2 points of the match. But what a great story. I mean, Michael Zheng, he's still an amateur. He plays for Columbia University. He's entering his senior year, his final semester of college tennis. He's been playing really well on the Challenger Tour, and his ranking got up to 174, which got him into the Australian Open qualifying. And of course, he's got to take advantage of that to go to Australia and play in the qualifying, despite the college season starting and so forth. And won 3 matches in qualifying, saved a match point in his final round qualifying match to get into the main draw. And now he's won his first round match, and his live ranking now has shot up 41 points. I believe that's what it was, 41 points. So his live ranking now is 133. So he's getting close to the top 100 and start getting close to getting direct entries into ATP events and Grand Slams. So this was Michael's first ever ATP Tour level main draw match and first ever Grand Slam main draw match. And he is the 2-time reigning NCAA singles champion, and he's played in the last 3 NCAA singles finals. So it's been kind of a little bit of a hard luck story for Michael as far as getting into a Grand Slam tournament, particularly the U.S. Open, because the USTA has changed their rule as far as college tennis wildcards. So in the past, up until 2000, the NCAA singles champion got an automatic wild card in the U.S. Open. And then in 2000, they changed that rule to where it would be an automatic wild card for the NCAA champion if they're American. And then what has happened since the NCAAs for a 2-year period was played in the fall, the USTA decided that wild card was not going to be automatic, even if an American won it, because it's just such a long period of time between NCAAs and late November, the weekend before Thanksgiving, and the U.S. Open, which starts late August, early September the following year. So Michael, his experience at the U.S. Open has been, so in 2023, he got a last-second wild card because he, wasn't a promising up-and-coming player. He had gotten to the round of 16 of the NCAAs. He was from Columbia. He was there on site, and I don't remember the particulars as far as why he got that last-minute wild card, but he did get that last-minute wild card because somebody pulled out, somebody got sick, somebody got in the main draw. I can't really remember. But he won a round in the qualifying that year in 2023 after his freshman year at Columbia. And then the following year, he was the NCAA singles finalist, lost to a player from Alabama. And because he was the NCAA singles finalist, he got a qualifying wild card in the 2024 U.S. Open, lost in the first round. Great ambiance there at U.S. Open qualifying when Michael was playing, because all the Columbia fans and alumni and students came out to cheer him on. It was a great atmosphere there at the qualifying when he was playing there. And so he got the wild card into the qualifying in 2024. He won the NCAAs in the fall of 2024, but that didn't guarantee him the wild card. He had to play in this unique event that the USTA created. It was called a Wild Card Challenge, the All-American U.S. Open Wild Card Playoffs, I think it was called. And he, as the NCAA champion, got an invitation to play in this 4-player tournament that was held at the USTA National Campus in Lake Nona outside of Orlando, Florida. And Michael Zheng, despite being the NCAA champion, he lost in the final round match at that tournament to Stefan Dostanic of Wake Forest, who didn't play in the NCAA individuals in the fall because he was playing challengers and so forth. So Michael, by virtue of being the runner-up at that wild card playoff tournament, got a wild card into the qualifying again. So it was the 3rd straight year he played in the qualifying of the U.S. Open. And then, of course, this fall, November of 2025, he won the NCAA singles title again, but that didn't guarantee him the wild card into the U.S. Open. But here he is, won a round at the Australian Open, beating a former top 20 player Sebi Korda. His live ranking is now 133, so he's getting close to, it's about 104. It's the top 104 entries. Sometimes there's some special exemptions and so forth. So it's, sometimes around, 102, 101, et cetera, to get into the main draw of the U.S. Open. So he might get in just directly in the U.S. Open come 2026. Or certainly the USTA is going to be like, okay, you proved it. You've been 3 NCAA finals. You've won the NCAAs twice. You're 100 and something in the world. Okay, we'll give you the wild card. But that's, to be determined. A long runway between now and then. But, the future for Michael Zheng, coming up, for the rest of this spring semester, his final year at Columbia, his final semester at Columbia. So he is not going to be able to, at the earliest he can get back to New York, to get back to Columbia would be Thursday night. He's probably going to play his second round match targeted for Wednesday in Australia, which is Tuesday night in the United States. And, I just checked on, kayak.com, plug for kayak.com, not a sponsor of the video or the podcast or the worldtennismagazine.com, but I like to use that. But, I just did, flight, and the earliest he could possibly get in, it would be, 8 o'clock on Thursday night. And Columbia has a big match at the ITA kickoff against Illinois on Friday at 3 o'clock. And then if they win that, they'll play the winner of Kentucky and Florida in the final of their ITA kickoff, which would then determine whether Columbia would qualify for the ITA national team indoors, which is a big deal. So that's going to be very interesting to see, how he does, is he going to get to the 3rd round? Is he going to win that second round match? Can he make it back in time? Will he be able to post? So we'll wait to see on that. But I just looked at Columbia's schedule for the rest of the year or foreseeable weeks, and if Columbia does not qualify for the national team indoors, that's going to open up some time where there's no dual matches scheduled for Columbia. So there is a chance, just looking ahead at what potential pro events Michael Zheng could play the rest of the year in addition to his Columbia schedule, but he could play in the Delray Beach Open, which is the week of that ITA national team indoor. So if Columbia does not make that, he could possibly play in the Delray Beach Open, either in the qualifying or main draw wild card. We'll see what, happens there. And then also, there are no scheduled matches, or let's see here. He's got, he also could potentially play in Acapulco the next week too. Not an American tournament, they wouldn't give him a wild card, but, maybe he could sneak into qualies there. Both those played on hard courts, which is, obviously the same as college tennis. He could also play in Indian Wells, which is March 4th through the 13th. There are no Columbia matches there except for matches against Quinnipiac and Fordham. and Colombia could certainly win those matches without Michael Zheng. So he could play in the qualies, or if he got a main draw wild card, Indian Wells. Colombia does have a road trip to Arizona and to San Diego during the Miami Open. So unlikely that he would play in the Miami Open, because those are two pretty big dual matches against two really good college teams. Certainly, if you live in New York City, you got to go to these Columbia matches when Michael is playing. I mean, even when Michael's not playing after he's leaving. I mean, top level college tennis. Howie Endelman doing a great job with the Columbia men's team. I haven't been to the new facility yet, but it looks spectacular. Great place to watch tennis. Indoors below, and then they have the 6 courts on the roof of the facility. I mean, it looks awesome. I've been to plenty of Columbia football games, which is right next to the tennis facility, and that's just a beautiful, beautiful place to just be. I mean, it's just beautiful right there on the Hudson, and where the East River collides or merges with the Hudson River. Beautiful. Easy to take the subway up there or the bus. I've taken the bus to Columbia football games. I have a video on my R. Walker travel video of when I went to a Columbia football game with my good pal Tim Heath, who now runs the Columbia men's tennis facility, or he doesn't run it, but he's one of the people who do run it, and the court, managing all the courts and promoting and so forth. So if you're in New York City, I mean, certainly when Michael's playing there this season, get out there and support the Lions and support Columbia and Michael, etc. So that's where you're going to see Michael. Potentially for the rest of the year until the NCAAs, and then certainly when the NCAA is over, he's going to be playing French Open qualifying. Maybe even by then he'll be main draw. But that's going to be interesting to see. But wanted to. Talk a little bit about Michael's early years. I'm wearing my Marty Fish Children's Foundation Tennis Championships hat. Because I want to talk about Michael. He played in our event in the fall of 2021. Our tournament normally is in late April, early May. It's May 4 through May 10 here in 2026. That was, getting over COVID, so we had it in the fall. But Michael played in that event, and that's where he got his first ATP ranking point in 2021. So we always kind of celebrate that. There's a picture. I wrote a story about this on WorldTennisMagazine.com about where, Michael remembering winning his first ATP point. And he defeated Reece Falk of New Zealand to earn that point, and then he lost in the second round to Zeke Clark, former University of Illinois standout, in the second round. But that's where he won his first ATP point. In my story on WorldTennisMagazine.com, we have the picture of Michael with in front of our Marty Fish Children's Foundation step and repeat banner, holding up number one, saying, number one, I got my first ATP point here in Vero Beach. An honor that he shares with Tommy Paul, the top 10 American star. He won his first ATP point in Vero Beach in 2014. We're really proud of Michael that he won his first ATP point in Vero Beach, Florida. So you can go to WorldTennisMagazine.com and read that article, and was also in Lake Nona for his historic NCAA singles championship, where he won his second straight. The first player to do that since Stevie Johnson, and only a handful of other players have done that. But Michael's the first one to play for three NCAA singles finals, and he has the most ever NCAA tournament wins of any male player. So he is going down to the record books in college tennis as one of the greats of all time in college tennis, and he's still got a semester to go. So on the day that Michael had this historic win, or his breakthrough win against Sebi Korda, Columbia had a home match, a big home match against number 18 South Carolina at the Columbia courts in Manhattan. Columbia's ranked 10 in the country, South Carolina ranked 18. So they took the courts without Michael. So everybody had to bump up a line. And unfortunately, Columbia lost to South Carolina 4-3, and the match was decided in a final set tiebreaker in the decisive match with the score 3-3. Another Marty Fish connection, Abhishek Thorat from Colombia, a freshman who won our Marty Fish Children's Foundation pre-qualifying tournament last year. He was playing number 4 singles, and the match rested on his shoulders, playing that last set tiebreaker, which he lost. I believe it was 7-2 or 7-3. So tough luck for Abby, and tough luck for the Lions. But, certainly that has a lot, I think that, shows a lot of hope for Columbia that they can go toe-to-toe with a big team, ranked team like South Carolina without Michael Zheng and nearly, win the match. So I think that Columbia can take a lot of confidence off of that effort. And certainly when Michael's back in the lineup, they're going to be a lot stronger. And they're going to contend for the NCAA team title. There's no doubt about that. So going to be exciting spring semester for Michael Zheng. Not only playing for Columbia, but let's see what tournaments he can get into. Let's see if he's going to play in that Delray Beach Open, depending on what happens with the ITA team indoors. And I think you'll see him at Indian Wells. I think you'll see him in the qualifying or the main draw as a wild card there. So anyway, check out worldtennismagazine.com for my articles. And going to be a great Australian Open. It's only day 1. So new setup here for my video. I'm going to try to do more of these videos. It's just fun to put them on YouTube and, and so forth. I also have this simulcasting on a podcast, but I'm more of a YouTube fan. So in the garage here in Vero Beach, Florida, and just going to try to set up a little, studio here to... do some talks, etc. So anyway, worldtennismagazine.com, and put the Marty Fish Children's Foundation Tennis Championships, $15,000 USTA Pro Circuit event, Vero Beach, Florida. It's going to be held at the Sea Oaks Beach and Tennis Club here in Vero Beach. Beautiful club. Really going to be probably the best futures tournament, 15K futures tournament that's ever been held. It's going to sell out. So, contact Lynn Southerly, who's our executive director for the Marty Fish Children's Foundation. She'll sell you a box. She'll sell you some tickets. But it's probably going to sell out. There's going to be about, probably 300, 400 fans there daily. Beautiful club. May 4 through May 10. And you'll get to see the next... Michael Zheng, the next Pommy Paul. We had Ben Shelton a few years ago, the next Ben Shelton, etc. So anyway, worldtennismagazine.com, and go to tennisverobeach.com to get more information on the Marty Fish Children's Foundation Tennis Championships, or Marty Fish Children's Foundation, martyfishchildren'sfoundation.org. So anyway, Randy Walker for World Tennis Magazine, over and out.